because it was dirty, eh?
Look at the garbage been floating out the street.
Tonight, the peaceful coastal town of Hervey Bay in eastern Australia is living through one of the worst flash floods in its history. In just a couple of hours, nearly 10 inches of rain poured down, enough to turn calm streets into raging rivers before most residents even woke up. Cars have been washed away, power lines are down, and emergency crews are racing against time. Floodwaters are rising so fast that families are climbing onto rooftops, holding on to anything that floats, and praying that help arrives in time. Authorities are ordering urgent evacuations across low-lying neighborhoods near the shore. Entire resorts, shopping centers, and restaurants are now submerged, and with more storms moving in overnight, the danger is far from over. It all started before sunrise, a sudden wall of rain hammering Hervey Bay with incredible force. Within minutes, drains overflowed, and water began seeping into homes, rising inch by inch until kitchen floors disappeared under muddy water. In the Scarness district, police used rescue boats to reach stranded families, right down the same streets that just days ago were filled with beachside cafes and souvenir shops. Residents filmed headlights glimmering off deep floodwaters that swallowed mailboxes and carried small cars away like toys. Hervey Bay's airport had to shut down after runways vanished beneath the flood. Flights were canceled, travelers were left stranded, and there was nowhere dry to go. On nearby Fraser Island, resorts like the well-known Kingfisher Bay had to close their doors after their offices were overtaken by rising water. Popular shopping areas in Ely Waters and Torquay turned into indoor lakes, aisles of groceries and electronics floating aimlessly through dark, flooded stores. By mid-morning, the calm had vanished, replaced by pure panic. Emergency lines were jammed. Within an hour, the number of calls tripled. More than 100 desperate voices pleaded for help, families trapped inside their homes, seniors stuck in wheelchairs, and drivers stranded as their cars floated down flooded streets. In Urangan, rescue teams raced against time. They pulled people out through shattered windows and lifted others from rooftops as rain poured down like a curtain. One viral video showed something few would believe: kayaks gliding down suburban streets, rescuers paddling door to reach their neighbors. Volunteers worked side by side with professionals, tying ropes between houses to lead people through the rushing water. Some carried pets in plastic bins, determined not to leave anyone behind. Fences gave way under the pressure. Trees toppled like matchsticks. At one point, a mother clutched her little boy as the current nearly swept them away, until a fisherman dove in and pulled them both to safety. For many, there was no plan, only instinct. Survive the next minute, and then the next. Meteorologists say it was the perfect recipe for disaster. A slow-moving tropical system formed just off Queensland's coast, dragging warm, moisture-packed air from the Coral Sea Strait over Hervey Bay. At the same time, a cold front pushed in from inland Australia, forcing that warm air upward and unleashing explosive rainfall. In just 12 hours, parts of the region saw over 9 inches of rain, some areas even closer to 16. That's almost a month's worth of rain in just a few hours. Drainage systems couldn't cope. Roads turned into rivers, parking lots into lakes, and entire neighborhoods into swirling, muddy seas with nowhere left to run. Experts say this wasn't a once-in-a-lifetime storm, it's a warning. Warmer oceans mean the air holds more moisture. That means heavier downpours, faster floods, and less time to react. As one climate scientist put it, we're not getting more time to prepare, we're getting less time to survive. When the floodwaters came, it wasn't about numbers or statistics, it was about people. In the small town of Urangan, a terrified mother clung to her 2 kids on top of a kitchen counter, the only dry spot left as water rushed waist-deep through her home. At a nearby retirement home, elderly residents were lifted upstairs by neighbors and first responders, some wrapped in blankets, others still in their pajamas, shaking with fear. Out on the streets, strangers became heroes. People smashed car windows to pull out drivers before their vehicles disappeared under the rising current. One survivor, drenched and trembling outside her wrecked home, whispered, "It happened so fast. We thought we had time. We didn't." Families grabbed whatever they could: medicine, pet carriers, baby pictures, wedding rings drifting in muddy water. But the real heartbreak wasn't just what they lost. It was how close they came to losing each other. Parents held their kids tighter. Neighbors became rescuers. Entire neighborhoods vanished under dirty, churning water. And even after the rain stopped, the fear didn't. The streets were covered in mud. The air smelled like sewage and gasoline, and the sound of helicopters echoed above. The flood may have passed, but for the people who lived through it, the storm never really ended. The streets of Hervey Bay were swallowed by water. Trash and debris floated past homes as the city slipped into crisis. Rescue teams rushed into action. More than 120 emergency and fire crews spread out across the region, joined by police boats, high-clearance vehicles, and local volunteers. Helicopters scanned neighborhoods for stranded families. Ambulances pushed through flooded roads. And people, ordinary people, linked hands, forming human chains to reach those trapped by rising waters. In Kingfisher Bay and Urangan, boats moved through what used to be streets, pulling survivors off rooftops and car roofs. The Hervey Bay airport shut down, forcing all flights to divert inland. Schools and community halls transformed into shelters, offering warm food, clean water, dry clothes, and a moment of safety for people who had lost everything. The Red Cross sent in crisis teams to help residents cope, knowing that the emotional scars of this flood could last far longer than the waters themselves. Meanwhile, engineers worked through the night to restore power and stabilize roads and bridges that were close to giving way. Officials warned recovery would take days, maybe even weeks. But one thing was clear: Hervey Bay isn't giving up. The city still stands, stronger than the storm. As the floodwaters finally start to pull back, Hervey Bay is left in silence and in shock. People are asking the same questions that echo far beyond this small coastal town. How did it all happen so quickly? And will the next one be even worse?
What?
Australia's east coast has always faced storms, but this one was different, faster, stronger, and far more destructive than anyone expected. It exposed a hard truth: our climate is changing faster than our cities can keep up. Experts say warmer ocean temperatures are driving heavier, more unpredictable rainfall. Flash floods are now hitting before warnings can even reach everyone. Old drainage systems, never built for this kind of pressure, are breaking down when they're needed most. Families who once felt safe are rethinking their futures, where they live, and how they can protect what they have left. Officials are now reassessing how we build, where we build, and how to better protect the elderly and the vulnerable. But even in the middle of so much destruction, something powerful is happening. Neighbors are helping each other. Strangers are sharing what little they have. Communities are standing strong, refusing to let fear take over. Hervey Bay's people have made their message clear. We will rebuild, but this time we'll rebuild smarter. Tonight, Hervey Bay stands quiet, scarred, but unbroken. Families cling to one another, finding strength in the dark. Where cars once lined the streets, boats now rest in silence. The roar of floodwaters has faded, leaving behind a heavy stillness. But that silence isn't defeat, it's determination. Community ready to rise again. This isn't just a story about one storm. It's a message for every coast, from Florida to Texas to California. The kind of weather we used to fear once in a while is now something we have to face all the time. Disasters no longer wait for us to respond. They demand that we prepare before they strike. The next storm could hit anywhere, and the next survivor could be any one of us, telling our story under a rain-soaked sky. So, if you care about our planet, if you believe communities like Hervey Bay deserve to be heard, take a second to like this video and subscribe. Turn on the notifications, because every day somewhere out there, the sky changes, and someone's life changes with it. We'll be here, tracking every storm, every flood, every warning, so you never face a disaster unprepared. Stay alert, stay ready, and as always, stay safe out there.